you know, uh, uh, you know, like I bring these principles, and Mr. Bean and I always have this conversation. I bring these principles to my work. I don't let them people tell me what to do. It's the other way around. It's the 360 leadership. I go negotiate with them. They don't negotiate with me. I lead that charge. So if you think you're safe, you're not safe. That's why everything we do right here with Mr. Bean, the leadership that he provides, it's not just for build, it's for your life. And you need to apply it to your life in every aspect because it grows your wealth in abundance everywhere. It's not in one stream of income, it's not just solar, it's not water, it's everywhere. And so, like Jeremy, man, he applies this to his other businesses that he owns. You can tell he does. So, you know, staying plugged in when you're doing these things, all these little things that Mr. Bean talks about, it's important because it allows you to take advantage when that opportunity presents itself. I had an opportunity in the last 2 weeks to make my bogey till August, and I did it. I just put the energy in, went in there, knocked it out, sold the hell out of stuff, using the principles that we have.
Mhm.
And it's because of the relationships I built over time that I was able to do that.
Mhm.
So, I just want to, I have to say that because people think that what we're doing here is just for build, but it's not, Mr. Bean.
Mhm. Yeah, and you know what? That's I could that's the epitome of what leaders want. Real leaders. You got two different leaders. You got a infinite leader and a finite leader, or basically a leader who has infinite goals and a leader who has finite goals. And so when you look at the leaders who have finite goals, those are goals leaders who say, you know what, I need Dale to make a certain amount of money for me, right? I need Idris to close a certain amount of deals for me, and those are you know those are just for right now. Those are goals that you want to hit based on your own needs, your own goals, what you want to get accomplished for you. And yeah, Dale's gonna make some money for herself, and yeah, Idris is gonna make some money for herself. But the goal isn't about Dale or Idris; it's about that leader. And so then you got the infinite leader that says, you know what, um, I want Dale to make money for the rest of his life. I want leaders to build a system that's going to help him make money for the rest of his life. And, because infinite never stops. And people think that business is infinite. You got people who will open up a company and they'll say, you know what, if we actually hit our goals, we'll take care of our people. And you have infinite companies, infinite CEOs that say, you know what, if we take care of our people, we'll never ever miss a goal. We'll always hit our goals. And we'll always be in business if we put our people first. And so when you look at Dale, what he's experiencing is infinite impact. This is a never ending impact. This is a one of those things where my goal with Dale is accomplished. It has nothing to do with whatever company that we were in. It has everything to do with the life that he continues to live with or without me. What I'm saying? That's the thing. Remember, when I say my goal is to my definition of purpose is impact the lives of 100 million children directly or indirectly by teaching the people who they respect and love and care about. That's how you do it. Because if I go before Dale, Dale's still going to be teaching what I taught him, and somebody's going to always be learning. Napoleon Hill is not here, right? You look at his teaching; he's still teaching people from the grave, right? And so he found a way to make sure he always kept people first, even after his demise. That's the thing that, when for me, that's the thing that I want. That's the thing that I want to have as my legacy to leave here, you know, through you guys and other people. What I mean, that's what it's about. So most people can't even explain why they do business with me the way that they ask you. But you gave them a great idea, but you gave them a great reason. When you look at the CEOs of Fortune 500 companies and their bottom lines, great idea, but it's just like the overall, or the overwhelming concept of it all is there's not a lot of people like me that want to be like me. I'm not saying like I'm not talking about wealth wise. I'm talking about mentality wise who want to put people first. Everybody is money motivated and goal motivated, and that's what a problem lies. Because at some point in time, what'll end up happening is you'll have people who, they are going to get wore down. If you keep on beating them across the head with the goals that you want them to hit for you, and at some point in time, what's going to end up happening is they're going to leave you. Or what'll end up happening is, you'll put them in a position where, you have a subset of people who will or start to keep, their ideas, their concepts, their wisdom, their processes, their systems to themselves and won't share with others just to make sure they always hit their goals and separate themselves from others. You'll create in backfighting and infighting and stuff like that, and dissension in the ranks and everything else. And so it's like when you put your people first, you'll never ever be last. The company will never ever be last. Your goals will always be met at some point. So you just, but I appreciate you starting to call off with that because bro, that means a lot. To where people, and it lets you know that for me that you talk about what goes on with us, and people want to know to the point to where you say it so much and you talk about it so much that people want to know why. Like, who is this guy to you? What is he? Why does he mean so much to you? Right. And that's when you have made an impact in somebody's life to the point to where other people don't understand, they don't get it, but they get to inquiring why. And so for me, it was the same way. And so you guys know, 19 years running, I had the same mentality. Okay. And so, but that's good stuff. That's how you actually, do your thing, man. Because what you've done in business with me, you parallel in other areas of your life when it came to, the refineries, even when it came to your household, and when it came to being a parent as well. Like there's a lot of things that we talk about, a lot of things that we do that you've adopted and made your own. You know what I'm saying? And so that's what this is really for. It is for the development of the individuals, not the development of your portfolio. If you develop the people, the portfolio will develop on its own, naturally, organically, and by as a byproduct of you pouring into people and doing everything you've done, you know. So that's what it's about, bro. You hey, you set it off right. Appreciate you. All right. That's why I got on the call this morning. Carla.
Good morning, Mr. Bean. Good morning. And to dovetail on what Mr. Boudreaux said, my lesson this week was emotional sophistication. And you talk about that a lot. Um, so been working with a client to who says they want to go solar. And it's been a very challenging week because that person is a family member and some things occurred and some misunderstandings took place.
Mhm,
And just having to learn to be detached from the outcome.
mhm, mhm. Yeah. Um,
So thank you for that.
no problem. And that's the thing. When you look at family members and friends are some of the hardest people to do business with, because they have the entitlement syndrome. They have the, with you. If I'm doing business with you, you automatically got to be better than everybody else. You automatically got to give me more than everybody else, and you automatically gonna take anything and everything I give you, all the grief and everything that come with it. But they wouldn't treat anybody else like that, right? And the thing about it is like you literally you set different standards for people who are related to you when you do business. That's why I don't do, like, my wife will tell you. I remember this one time we were coming back from Orlando, Florida. I had a huge event in Orlando, Florida, a lot of recognition going on. Wife got so fired up. She's like, you know what, I'm ready to get in here and do my thing, and I'm ready to throw my hat in the ring, and I'm ready to be coached and mentored by you. But what ended up happening was, but she didn't say that until we got on the plane, right? And so we got on the plane. A young lady who was on our team, who I had never met before, um, was sitting across the aisle from us, and she followed us, unbeknownst to me, all the way out of the arena. I mean, all the way from the hotel, to the airport, and got on the plane. And she sat on the same row right across from us, and she said, "Hey." Miss McDaniel told me to follow you, and if I could sit by you on the plane, sit by you on the plane. And so I was like, cool. So, you get your little bit of mentoring and coaching on the way home, 3-hour flight. So my wife, that's when she says it. She says, I wanna be, I got something to tell you. I just don't know how to tell you. I don't know if I really want to tell you. I'm scared to tell you. And the lady said, well, why are you scared to talk to your husband? She said, you don't understand. She said, because right now I'm excited about what we have our hands on. I'm really, really ready to rock and roll. And I want him to mentor me, but I'm scared to ask him because, he gonna hold me to a higher level and a higher regard than he do everybody else. And she said, huh? She said, no, you don't understand. The way he does business is if you're his friend or you're his family, he's gonna treat you different than he treat anybody else, than treat a stranger. He said, because he's not going to let the entitlement syndrome kick in at all. He's not going to ever get that opportunity. He's not going to ever let me manipulate the situation. He's going to be hard on me than he's going to be hard on anybody. And she's like, wow. And I'm like, I looked at her, I said, yeah, so you really want to be mentored by me? So like, what I'm saying? This is the real deal. I mean, this is real life. You know what I'm saying? And so, but people have to know where you stand, because when you let people know where you stand and hey, we family over here, but we business over here. I love you over here, but this over here. I got to take care of you over here. We ain't got time for you and your games. We ain't got time for you and the shenanigans. Business is gonna be business, and we're gonna be who we're gonna be, but we're gonna separate the two. And that's why for me, if you're gonna do business with me as a friend or a family member, you're gonna know how that's gonna go, early and often. And I'm not gonna ever let you forget that this is business and that you brought me on board in this business transaction to make sure you got taken care of, not so you can get over on me. So friends and family, I'm telling you, be prepared for them. They're the worst people to do business with, and I'm just telling you, as a whole, as a rule of thumb in general, based on the fact that they think, and believe that you should give them everything, your entire commission and some. You know what I'm saying? Nah, that's not how we do. When I was in real estate, it didn't change. You know what I'm saying? It was the same thing. When I sold coffee, you want my coffee for what I pay for it, what I even paying me for the shipping. The mitigated gall to just what? Come on, man. No, this is what we're gonna do. We're not gonna do no business. Take your butt, on your website, you go buy it and have it shipped to yourself. Now I know you're gonna go get it, but you ain't gonna get it from me, and you're not gonna get that discount. So we're gonna be like that. So that it is what it is, Carla. That's what I'm glad and these are the things that you need to have go on in your life early on in your business stages so you can be prepared, because these are teaching moments for somebody who's in your group who's going to have somebody that they love and care, let them down. They're gonna have somebody they love and care, stab them in the back. They're gonna have somebody they love and care for, do something treacherous, like go to another realtor or go to another satellite company or go to another solar company, or go to another security company. Oh, they gave me a bigger deal. No, well, you know what? No, that's not how this is supposed to go. But okay, knock yourself out. We'll never do business again. Thank you for showing me who you are. And guess what? I still love you. But you'll never ever do business with me again. Okay. My nephew, literally, because it's just about the principles of it all. Like my nephew, I mean, at his birthday, he had a rude awakening because maybe 6 months before his birthday, I lent him some money. I said, now look, just understand, you're gonna be here a long time. I'm gonna be here a long time. And if you mess this transaction up, it's not gonna be, we'll never ever be able to do business again. I'm telling you. So if I give you this loan, right, and you don't pay this back per our terms, you'll never ever be able to get a loan from me again. He took that loan, and 5 months later, 4 months later, 5 months later, we were at his birthday party at the dinner. Came, I gave him a birthday gift and everything, And so I said, oh, by the way, the Bank of Bean is closed. You'll never ever be able to get a dime from me from a loan perspective. And you didn't pay that loan back, right? And so just want to let you know, in case you ever, had an idea that you was gonna call me for a loan again, but sometimes you gotta give a person a loan to get them out your pocket forever. You know what I'm saying? That's how you get rid of people. My dad's always said, if you ever want to get rid of somebody, loan them some money. You know what I'm saying? And so You got to teach people how to treat you 100% of the time. And if people mistreat you, it's your fault 100% of the time, right? So yeah, you got me this time, man. I tell you, but this is the thing that the $250 I loaned you, you saved me from loaning you $2,500 one day or $25,000 one day. Man, you don't know how much money you saved me, bro. I appreciate you. So thank you. You know what I'm saying? Because you saved me from making a bigger mistake later on down the line. I'm glad you asked for that money now. Right. And so now, and he, like, this is 6 years later, he goes back to that same conversation we had at that restaurant, and he talks about how much better it made him as a human being, as a person, and keeping his word going forward. He said, he said, my mom been telling me stuff like that forever. And he said, it wasn't until then that I look back that I really learned the lesson, because it happened to me and it wasn't something that was taught to me. And so, again, you owe it to people to teach them a lesson. You owe it to people to be, that person who is, you owe it to them. Let's just say that. All right.
Thank you.
Yes, ma'am. All right, Jeremy.
Morning, sir. Thank
Good
you
morning.
for letting me do this, and thanks for the platform. I get scared getting on here anymore because you guys make me cry all the time.
I said, yeah, Carla just started it over there. You got Sabrina over there, got allergies and everybody's mother stuff going on. I'm like, yeah, somebody turn their camera off so they can cry in the dark. It's okay. We get it. It's all good.
But my wins is just getting on these calls. Don't get me wrong, I like the money and everything, but being with you guys and being around these people is more my win than anything. I appreciate every one of you guys. Every single one of you guys teach me something, how to be a better person. I'll tell you what, I get more joy now, and I'm glad that you put me in that position with Liam and them. Victor called me the other day that I can help him. I can see other people win, and it's actually bringing me more joy, even though I haven't had a win yet. But seeing them win is like I'm winning too. And every time you guys have a win, I care more about that than I do about myself winning. So, I'm just gonna keep on out there pumping. I was thinking this morning I'm gonna start, getting some rain, print me up some rain stuff, print me up some alarm stuff, going to open houses and start talking to some people and see if I can get them to sell some of that stuff. I've been calling solar companies, and
Where is my
I
baby?
talked to a few people over the week, and I've sent some information. I got some people that might have solar companies that might be interested in coming on board, and I'm just keep on pushing. I've got deals still on the table. I think I still have. I don't know. They do each deal. Commercial deals are different. Each meter is a deal. So I actually have like 67 commercial deals on the table. So I'm happy. I'm happy with just being on this call. To be honest with you, that's more important to me.
Yeah, I'm gonna tell you something. That when you look at everything that you got going on, and this is the thing, don't ever measure your successes by people's scoreboards. Again, when you look at what you got going on right now, you're probably the most dangerous person in the group, honestly, because again, you are not, like I said, the money was never first for you. The money was a plus for you, right? And so you're out here learning something. You're out here growing, developing, evolving, putting things in play. Like I said, you got 67 meters, in a situation, right? And so, and it's like one of them pots, like that just getting ready to explode. You know what I mean? So when you look at that bamboo tree situation, it's not gonna take you 5 years, but boy, man, these next 5 months or these next 12 months, the next thing you know, you're looking at somebody who, it can be a millionaire overnight. But people gonna say it's overnight. You know what I mean? But the type of money that you have in play right now, when these things start to blow up, and then the level of expertise that you'll have when it does blow up, bro, the stuff that you're learning right now, think when you get the credibility based on what everybody else feels determines your success, which is how much money you made. When you start telling people this, I've done this many big deals and I've made this much money, I've just, bro, and then you're that much further along in your evolution, it's going to be a real problem. It's going to be a situation, and some people are going to wonder what the heck happened. And they're going to be calling you like, "Hey, give me your secret. You know, what's the secret sauce? Hey, you know, tell me this on how to do this deal or how to do that deal." And next thing you know, again, you'll be like, "Hey, man, I just plugged into the system." They be like that. No, it's got to be more than that. No. I just, no. That they're gonna everything you say at that point in time is gonna be a lie. It won't make no sense. Or you withholding information. You're not trying to give me your secrets. Now you're gonna become the villain. Everybody's gonna be calling you, bro. I'm telling you. It's
I
I've been through that. I'm telling you, I've seen it happen. I've been through it, and it's just want to be one of those things where, again, it's like a pressure pot. And as soon as that thing blows, as soon as that thing explodes, there's going to be a good problem, man. So you just keep on getting better. Just continue to stay active, continue to bring deals to the table, continue to evolve, as a leader while you're evolving, in your profession. And, it's not going to be a person on the face of the earth that can contain you once you break out. You have your breakout party, it's going to be a huge problem. So keep on doing what you're doing, bro. The
I
right person.
appreciate you, sir.
Yes, sir. All right. Good stuff. Philip.
Yes, sir. Thank you, Mr. Bean, for this platform, and yeah, just been encouraged since I've been on here, and yeah, this week for me, basically, I've got a new person that joined. He actually found me, Mr. Tony, the one that I actually invited Tuesday. He found me on social media, but he actually wasn't sure how he actually found me. I explained to him that I usually get text message when someone actually clicks on my link or so, and and that was good. He has a team of 50 people, and that's kind of, I got a chance to get to know him some. He connected with me on Facebook, and yeah, the goal is I explained to him. I was like, it's simple as this. I was like, he's like, what do I, how do y'all work? I was like, the way it works is I want to help you meet your goals, and I was like, whatever your team goals are, whatever your personal goals are, and and I'm connected to, you know, leadership. I told him about Mr. Bean, and Mr. J.C. Rang. I was like, this company is the best company I've ever connected with, and you would definitely, benefit. But I was just explaining to him that, just come see. I said, come tonight to the event. I had a three-way with Mr. Idris, and he hasn't upgraded yet to the builder, but I explained to him that I was like, hey, it's no pressure, man. I was like, I'm here for you. I was like, I know you said you've been in the solar business for 2 years and you want to learn this system. You were very excited, but he's a thrilled guy. So I'm just learning how to work with people and learning how to, uh, like you said earlier, just basically plugging in and tacking on to what Jeremy said. I called some realtors this week in California, and I was pretty much it was kind of weird because the 15 leads I'm getting from the system that we got from the Drip CRM, I called all those leads last week, the 2 weeks ago, and I called them again. And some of the responses I'm getting is like, I don't have any homeowners anymore. Right? You're calling about, I spoke to your business partner, but you're calling about solar. Their house is burnt down, and I kind of froze up. I was like, what do I say to that? And I was like, my prayers and condolences, and I understand. I was like, well, I am here for you, and I kind of bagged off when I was like, maybe I shouldn't call realtors right now in California just to kind of. But then I was like, well, just send them a text and and go from there. But and try to continue to try to connect with them. But that kind of got me right there. But so I just said, what else can I do? And I'm just posting on social media, and I said I'm just going to start going to events like Angel Trend was teaching us, and I got some events set up. I was like, I want to get out more and kind of change some things up. Whatever I can get a connection at, that's what I want to do more of. And the connection I'm getting on social media and then networking events is very effective. So I'm going to take a day off next week of my full-time job. I'm going to go to some networking events on Wednesday. It's 1 in the morning. It's going to be 1 in the afternoon, and I got some set up the next week afterwards. So I'm looking forward to that, again, out of my comfort zone. So
There you go.
yes.
Yeah, so you are working backwards with the easy stuff. The easy stuff is um, perfecting your trade. Getting the information that you're getting, making sure it's on point, on purpose, making sure that the process, you're being able to articulate the process is on point and on purpose. Making sure you have your elevator pitch or your verbal brochure together. When the person asks you what you do, having that together, having that on purpose and on point. Right. And so those are very, very key, very, very important. Those are things that everybody should have working knowledge of and really good understanding of, as well as should be able to recite based on muscle memory. Now, when you go back to the realtors and people who you had leads for in California, one is empathy, and you use sympathy. I was like, you know what, man, yeah, I get it, I understand, and you backed off. That's sympathy, and for you, empathy is the thing. It's just like, you know what, I didn't think about it that way, and I appreciate you bringing that to light because, for me, I'm more about people than I am about business anyway. And I'll keep everybody in Cali in my prayers as I already have been. I said, but this is what we'll do. You know, when it comes time for you, to get back on your feet, or we'll get back into the swing of things, and you're looking at different things. Just I'll keep you in mind. You just keep me in mind, and whenever you're ready at your own pace, let's connect. Because we have some things that we can use to help you do business in different areas. So you can now, um, can pick up not necessarily where you left off, but at least you'll have some things that you can work on that we can help you with. But I know you out there helping people in California. I know you out there helping families relocate and get funding, all those other stuff that you guys are out there doing. Whenever that's done and whenever you feel like you have time, breathing room, let's just reconnect. Let's just get back together. Then at that point, when you're ready, and I'll keep you guys in our prayer. And so, you still have a solution, okay, and you're still putting them in a position, to where at some point in time, not today, but one day, we can revisit this. We can get back together and on some other things because we have a multi-sided platform. We have a business model that people use that they could do business from remote locations from anywhere around the world within the next 30 days. So let's just communicate, connect, and when you have a moment to talk about business when it's more appropriate. And so that's how you have those conversations. You just literally, um, you just think back, pull yourself out of that situation and pause for a minute and ask yourself, how would I want a person to communicate to me if I'm in that situation? Okay. And so you put yourself in their shoes, okay, how would I want them to communicate with me when I'm in that situation? And what would I need them to say to me at that point? And so I'm gonna want them to be empathetic and I'm gonna want them to understand what I'm going through and grasp what I'm going through, but I'm also need them to be solution oriented to help me get out of the situation we're in because, again, all my clients have lost their homes and I'm gonna need some revenue coming in from new places. So I'm gonna need, and so that's how I would think about it. That's how I would, put myself in a position to help them because ultimately, again, it's still all about helping that individual, coming up with a solution for that individual. All right.
Yes, sir. Thank you, Mr. Bean.
Keep grinding, keep growing, bro. Vic.
Good morning, guys. Everybody. My
Morning, good
my
morning.
my my every Saturday morning. It's like I can't even wait for Saturday mornings anymore, guys. Like this is like my injection of self development that it's 100% know I can take something from it and utilize it out here in the field. Um, so real so thank you, Mr. Bean, and everyone just for always reminding me that the opportunity of a lifetime should be seized the lifetime of the opportunity. And I'm always listening to something, man, and it's like all the years, Mr. Bean, of working with you and learning and growing. it took me that long to get to where I am now. I see the difference in my approach. I see the difference in the reactions and the responses that I get when I'm talking to individuals. Um, working with listening to Mr. Hart, listening to Angel, uh, listening to Jeremy, just listening to everybody reinforces everything that I'm doing. And just want to share that with you guys and tell you thank you so much. But I'm going to tell you my wins real quick. Had a new builder come in, Mr. Brian Montoya. He has a church event today, so he wasn't able to attend his first crash camp of him being in the business. But I have expressed to him and stressed to him the importance of Saturday and Monday night. And I know that is key to him hitting his goals. And he seems to be hungry. He says he wants to focus on the customer base. Not really ready to share it with everybody. I think he said, I just want to make sure that, I could put my name on it. I was like, okay, I understand. So we're going to work with what he has and what he wants to do. But eventually it's going to click. And then he'll be a real builder instead of just paying the subscription for one. What else? Oh, I did talk to commercial. I have a 19 EV charger deal that is going to be explored. Pretty much, I know it's gonna work out. So Jeremy was able to put me in contact with the commercial side, get a little more support, and I'm really inspired by Jeremy and all of the commercial deals he has in the pipeline. It's like, I know the process can be longer, but I'm just thinking to myself, well, if you have that many things on the table in commercial, when they all hit, it's going to be a landslide, and I was like, I got to do that too. So not only am I, every time I get an opportunity to speak to someone about residential, now I'm driving by and I saw a car wash yesterday. So put that address in my book. So, I'm looking at bigger deals that I know the process will take longer, but I don't care how long it takes. Once they put them in the pipeline, I don't really have to do that much. So might as well. That's the way I look at it. And if they do need me, I'm always going to be here available to them, And what else? Oh, and then yesterday I was on the way home. Didn't really get to talk to as many people as I normally would like to. So, I was in Fredericksburg, Virginia, which is about 30 minutes west of me. And I had never been to that Home Depot. And I said, you know what, let me just pop in here real quick. And it's late in the evening. It's not a time that I would even normally go. And so I do a drive-by past the spot where the contractors pick up product. And I saw one lone truck in there with a phone number and all the things he did. So I just parked up next to him and was acting like I was getting something out of my trunk, And I was like, hey, man, what's going on? And struck up a conversation. And next thing you know, I was like, look, how long you been in business? He's like, oh, about 15 years. I said, man, that's quite a long time. I said, have you ever thought about expanding? Are you looking for ways to expand? And he was like, I can only work in my immediate area, like Virginia and DC, a little bit in Maryland. I said, okay, but if you could expand, would that be something you would be interested in? He was like, yeah. Well, how many people you have in your crew? That's a good question, because people who have their own thing going on, if they have a big crew, that leads to something. And that's when my brain started clicking. And I said to myself, he said he has 10 people on his crew. And I said, okay. I said, do you think they would be open to looking for more opportunity with you instead of for you? And he was like, what do you mean? I said, I'll tell you what, I know you're tired. I had a long day. Let me send you some information. Can I send you my information so we can collaborate later on? He was like, yeah, let me give you my card. Let me give you my number. I said, great. I said, hey, look, Walter, that's my best friend's name, so easy to remember. I was like, Walter, man, let me tell you something, man. I got a really, really interesting concept for you need to check out, and I look forward to talking to you. And I said, hey, he was like, great. Make sure you call me, man. Make sure you call me. I was like, no problem. I ain't called him yet. I ain't sent him nothing yet. I'm gonna let it marinate just a little bit. So when I do send it, he's gonna look at it, and maybe he'll just call me instead of me having to call him. And those are my wins for the week.
There you go. Well, that's awesome, man. You're always in the hunt. Like I said, you're always in the grind, on the grind, meeting new people. And that's the thing that you and Jeremy have in common. You know, like y'all are always hitting the streets. You're always not necessarily knocking on doors, but y'all always somewhere where people are gonna be on purpose. That's where it starts, man. Just showing up. You know, talk about 80% of success is just showing up. You know, again, that's where you get a chance to not just make money, you get a chance to make a difference. Right? Like I said, you have no idea what these people are going through who are pulling up in these trucks. Some of these people, you know, are in trucks that, you know, they can't even afford to pay for no more because business is so bad. Right. And so you don't know what these people are going through. And most people have been conditioned to think because they see a business name, a business card, you know, a business name on a building, they think these people are successful. 95% of people go out of business, you know, period, based on mismanagement, lack of funding, stuff like that. So at the end of the day, you know, everybody is a candidate. Everybody's a prospect, period. Don't prejudge. You know, I don't care what they look like. You know, when I was at my brokers, I looked like I was at one of my best stages in my life. You know, and so you never know. And if they wouldn't have talked to me, you know, about what they were doing, yeah, it would have cost them a ton of money. It would have cost me a lifestyle. So continue to do that part. But the other thing is when you look at that drip process, guys, you're gonna have people who are in your system. They're gonna have people on your team, and if they're plugged into the system itself, if they're coming onto the calls and you staying in communication and connection with them, you know, and you're dripping on them every once in a while, you know, you're not making them a priority because, you know, what they're doing doesn't warrant, you know, priority a type, you know, conversations or priority type time. But you keeping them in the loop, keeping them in the process, keeping them in the system. At some point in time, you give them a chance to flip the switch. And so, again, that's why you don't give up on people. Like I tell people all the time, I believe in people. I just don't believe them. You know, I don't believe anything a person tells me. You know, I believe everything they show me, right? Because eventually a person will show you exactly who they are, what they believe, and what they're willing to do, you know, without you having to poke, push, or prod, right? But that drip process, again, the evolution, like I said, yeah, I've seen the evolution over the years, bro. And again, once that light switch, the evolution is overly abundant to everybody who's been around you, and that's a beautiful thing. That's more valuable than anything. Trust it is, and so that part's awesome. So let's see here. Another thing is like when you look at people who want to just know that they are a priority, you know, instead of a number. And that's that again. That's going back to what we talked about, you know, about keeping people in the loop, you know, just checking on people every once in a while, sending a person a text message, you know, just to make sure they know they're being thought about. Because again, you know, people, you know, it's not that they're not doing something 100% of the time because they lazy or they trifling or, you know, they just, you know, whatever it is, people have stuff going on. And sometimes you have to remind them that they have that they have this going on as well, just by checking on them, you know, because some people get distracted with life. A lot of us get distracted with life. The best of us, you know, however, you know how to, you know, get those distractions and put them to the side until we get our jobs done. But that didn't happen overnight either. That's an evolution for most people. So I appreciate you sharing. Keep on coming for your infusion. Laura.
Great morning, family. Great morning, family. So I like to, you know, talk around a theme every week. And so this week the theme is sustain, shape, and support. Sustain, shape, and support. So my win this week is really the environment and the culture that you have set up here, Mr. Bean. Because this week has been extremely tough for me. I lost a very, very good friend, car accident on Tuesday. And, you know, over the past few days, it's been really, really, really rough. And so I couldn't really focus on my business in the way that I wanted to focus on it because I just didn't have the bandwidth to do it. But this environment and this culture helped to sustain me through this very, very difficult time. It helped to shape me since I've been in the environment. And I say that to say because last night when I was in a car full of people um, returning from the honor walk for my friend, I was able to share some information with them about their thinking and how they should think about having a job, looking to the future, looking to having multiple streams of income, looking to not being impotent in their income. And all of that was in me because this culture and this environment over time has put it there. And so it was able to naturally just flow out. And this morning, one of the people in that car with me sent me a text message and said, um, thank you for the conversation last night because you opened my eyes and my mind about retirement. And so, that's impact. Mr. Bean, you said you want to have impact on, I think, 100 million children through impacting the people that impact them. Well, your impact is further than children because I was talking to an adult. And it was because of your impact on me that I was able to impact that person to the point of expressing gratitude. So, this culture and this environment shapes us, it sustains us when we're having challenging times, and it supports us. So, one other thing that happened this week was, um, people are always attempting to recruit people. And so I got a message and a video from someone attempting to recruit me into whatever their deal was. And so I have learned from this environment and this culture to always agree. I said, thank you very much for, thinking about me. I'll definitely, check it out. I said, but since February, I have been committed to build network. And I'm going to share with you a video for you to check it out and we can talk afterwards. Because, you want me to look at your deal, you're going to look at my deal. However, this person was, I don't know, the downline of someone that I had dealt with in the past. So then I reached out to that person and I said, hey, listen, your guy has just sent me some information that, they want me to check out. So I'm sending you my response to your guy, which is, thank you for the information. Check out this. I said, so I want you to check this out just in case he gets interested. And so that person responded to me today and said, well, how is that going for you? I said, it's going great. And we can talk this afternoon. So, it was that leverage that I have learned through this culture and this environment that shapes us, sustains us, and supports us that allowed me to be in a position to flip that and now have two conversations that will happen, fall where they may, but at least I'm in position to have the conversations. So thank you for allowing me to share, Mr. B.
The money you made last year just on like for a person who does one deal, right? Let's say you do $3,000 on the deal commission wise. Or you look at $3,000, that's $250 a month, basically, roughly. Yeah, $250 a month if my math doesn't fail me. But the average person in network marketing doesn't make that. So again, you out earn in one deal, just one deal, you out earn 75% of people in network marketing. Just with one deal. It had nothing to do with recruiting anything or anybody. So, you know, at the end of the day, a person even know they don't even have to know how much money you made on the deal. So let's say, well, how is it working for you? Let me share how it was working for me. One of my deals that I closed last month put me in a position where I made more money last year than 75% of people in network marketing. Okay, that's how.
I sent him a screenshot, Mr. Bean, of the emails from Relay. You know, Relay is the payment. You know, so I just searched Relay, and there was like 6 emails. I just sent him a screenshot of the emails, the 6 emails with the dates, and each email starts off with "you got paid." So I didn't send them the amount of money, but
Right.
I showed them the numerous emails.
Right.
But you're absolutely right, sir. Sorry for interrupting you.
That's all good. That's all good. But that's good. But you, like I said, you took action and you show, and I'm glad you didn't share them the numbers, because now when you actually do go back and y'all do have a conversation, you let them know, man, look, each one of those deals, you know, you see you got paid was a part of a solo transaction. And one of those deals put me in a position where I made more than 75% of the people in network marketing last year. So it's definitely working for me. It's working for the people I'm doing business with, having more success I've ever had in my career of direct sales network marketing. I feel more empowered, more diversified, and I'm in a position to help way more people than I ever have been in my life. So it's pretty fulfilling and financially rewarding. So you know, we need to communicate, connect if you see the vision. If not, you know, I wish you well. But tell your people don't reach out to me because they're gonna end up on my team. You know what I'm saying? So you can get over here, first, you know what I'm saying, and get them in. But I'm just telling you, but that right there, you know, that's important. You gotta learn how, guys, when you have a win, you gotta learn how to package it. You gotta learn how to package it and use it and weaponize it. Right? Because that again, some people think that, you know, man, you hear this guy did 28 deals in a month, and you look at your 1 or 2 deals that you did for a year, you think, man, I didn't do anything. You did everything. You just don't. You just look at it, you know, in a negative manner. You could take them 2 deals and literally turn them into something, you know. But you watering it and nurturing it and really fertilizing it, you can turn it into something. It'll grow into something. But you know, you kill your seed, you know, when all you did was cash a check and spend the money, and then now it's back to, I hope I get another deal sometime soon. You know, be proactive in your thinking, evolve your thinking. Yeah, it's not a whole lot of person can get past me when things come up or pop up when we're having conversations, and you're not gonna catch me slipping, because I've thought about so much and I've had so many different conversations, and I've reframed so many different things in so many different ways where my brain just automatically, you know, works that way now. A person comes up with something, I can come up with something too. You know, this is like the elevator pitch. I'm like, you know, again, one of the best ways that you know, crystallize your elevator pitch is just by going into Chat GPT or Search GPT when it comes to your WhatsApp, and give them, you know, a scenario. Hey, what's the best elevator pitch give me some creative elevator pitches as it pertains to, you know, me being in, you know, high ticket sales company, or me being in a multi-sided platform in 5 different industries, and or me and whatever it is, you know, give them, let teach it how to work for you. I'm not going to tell you what all to say. Okay. But if you don't get the answers that you like, you don't like the options that it gives you, reword your question. That means that remember, the computer ain't wrong. It's just processing the information that you give it, right? And if you give it better information, you'll get better answers. It's like human beings, right? Again, if you give human beings better information, they'll make better decisions, right? And so, if what you're saying to people is not working, then you need to say something different, right? And so again, you can learn a lot from computers and how you input data based on the results that you get. I love it. Like I literally, like, I have some stuff, I go and I'll email it to myself to make sure, you know, I don't forget it, I don't lose it or whatever. Like last night we were on yesterday we was on a leadership call with the owners, and we were looking up some information, or we were trying to figure out names and taglines and stuff like that. And so, you know, I'm me and uh, God, Julio, me and Julio, we were both using Chat GPT at the same time. We didn't know it, but we ended up putting a screenshot of 10 or 15 different search results in the thing. And he was like, man, I need to go back in here and do something different because your answers look a whole lot better than mine. I said, I had my answers look a whole lot similar to yours until I didn't like those answers. I went back in and I reworded my question. And so, and so you got to keep on, how they say, massaging that thing. You got to keep on keep on adjusting, keep on making corrections, keep on updating, because the computer, you're supposed to get smarter with ChatGPT. ChatGPT is getting smarter based on, you and all your data that you put in there, right? But you should get smarter based on creative thinking on how you now have to go back in and rethink what you thought at first and what you put into to get the answer you got. So again, a lot of the answers, guys, are right there, and you're right there in front of you. But presentations also, when you look at my presentations, guys, I'm like, I'm really going in on the fact that jobs won't be around. Ain't no, like, jobs are not going to be around. People are really and truly thinking that when a CEO of LinkedIn said jobs will no longer exist one day and cease to exist one day, they thought this man, was being facetious. Or they thought he was just, trying to get some attention or something. And if you are not looking at, the power of AI and because it's not AI is not, taking jobs from people. It's people who are using AI that's taking jobs from people. Right now, there's a lot of people out there who won't have a job at the end of the year based on AI. Right? And it's a bunch of people who have been conditioned to do one thing their whole entire life and their whole entire work career that won't have a future, in 5 years based on AI. Because AI is going to take over and do everything that they were paid to do. And then since that person didn't diversify and then evolve, they won't have anywhere to go. There are a lot of confused people out there right now. There are a lot of people who got out of college 5-10 years ago right now, and everything they were taught is obsolete. AI is now, again, doing everything that they were programmed to do with the basic information they were taught. You got people who are 40, 50 years old who are traditional business owners right now who are lost, who are confused because they're being beat out by AI right now. They're being put out of business right now by AI. And so you got people who are literally thinking that if I just pray, I'll wake up every day and have my job, or God's going to take care of me. Whatever it is, they're not preparing. They're praying and not preparing. And that's the recipe for disaster because, at the end of the day, if you pray and and you don't prepare, you're going to need a whole lot more than prayer in a minute. Right. So that's important. And then obviously, we send you our condolences, our prayers for your loss. And I had one too, a real good dear friend of me and Kim, that we met in network marketing years ago when we had just started the coffee company. And you may know Irv Watson out of Buffalo and Rochester, but he was one of our first sapphires and out of Rochester, and he was just an amazing individual. And so he passed away, and I haven't posted anything about it because I want to give his family an opportunity to post and give his family an opportunity to do what they got to do, and because I'm not one of those people who just post to get numbers and likes and want to get ahead of the rush and post rush and stuff like that, just out of respect. But yeah, he was a solid dude, and so again, we losing people left and right, and people are not prepared. And they're not preparing their families. They're not preparing their legacies. They're not preparing, when it comes to their insurance, their trust, their financial reserves. People are not prepared, and so we got a lot of work to do. A lot of people to communicate with and impact, and a lot of lives to touch and save. So, again, condolences to you. So. Appreciate your words. All right. And then we got two more left, and then we'll shift gears. We got Dr. Arlene, and then we'll finish in with Angel.
Good morning, Crash Campers. I'm going to start with a scripture this time because it says, weeping and may endure for a night, but joy comes in the morning. And part of the joy that comes in the morning for me is this group. This group helps to sustain each other. This group helps to sustain me and my family. So, Mr. and Mrs. Bean, thank you very much for that. You've created a platform for adults as well as young adults, as well as kids. And you talked about 100 million children. Well, there's a song that says, may his favor be upon you for 1,000 generations, and your children, and your children, and your children, and your children. And that's what you and Mrs. Bean had created here, is that favor on each and every one of us because of the teachings that we live out every day. That favor passes on from generation to generation to generation. So may that blessing of 1,000 generations be upon each and every person on this call. With that, wins this week. Time block. Mr. Bean, time block is the master. It really masters that clock. And so Sarah, Daniel, and I have been time blocking for calls based on being consistent and persistent with the system that Landon has taught us with lead generation. And that has made a difference. We're learning each other and we're learning what each person is good at. Like Daniel's our get it done. Come on, let's go. Next. So he handles all the technology on the background in the CRM, right? I learned that I had to learn from Sarah how to be soft, how to be warm, because I'm authoritative, right? But Sarah gets on that phone and she's warm and she's sweet. And these people just melt. So we had to learn that as well. I had to learn that as well. So now I've learned that I have to slow down. I have to be softer. And I've learned that from Sarah. And as a result, this week we actually booked 4 different solar deals. One of them actually held, and Dennis is going to, and I are following up with that deal on Tuesday, hopefully to close that deal as well on Tuesday. So consistent and persistent. I also learned a lesson on edification this week. So, or de-edification, I should say, because, and this was work related. And so the director sent out an email about leaders, and I was not on it. I said, hark. Well, I didn't say hark. I said, what the hell? And then so at first I wasn't going to say anything. And then I said, I can't let my team go down like this. I said, if somebody de-edified Mr. or Mrs. Bean like that, what would you do? I would snatch their neck. So I went right on and I used ChatGPT to soften up what I wanted to say. And I sent an email out and I didn't blast it the way she did. It was a one-on-one. And I laid the foundation of how I wanted to be treated. And if you weren't going to treat me that way, you let me know. Because all these external stakeholders that I speak to on behalf of this department and the fact that I've built this department, if you're going to disrespect me, then I need to step down. And that I learned that edification and what proper edification looks like in this platform. And I laid that foundation. She apologized. She said it was inadvertent. I'll take it inadvertent if you want to give it to me as an excuse, but at least you know you are not going to disrespect me, and I will check you. So,
and you did it in a way that she can receive it and save face, and you didn't do it public. You know what I'm saying? You put her in her place. You snatched the neck in a different way though. You know what I mean? You got hold to her real good. You got hold to her in the best way because there's no repercussions, only advancements. You know what I'm saying? That's good stuff. So she never happen again. Your name will be first on the leaderboard. Like she'll make sure she gets your name up there before she get anybody else's because she don't want now another one of them emails because she know the tone gonna change after that. Yeah,
not gonna change. I got options, okay? And then I want to also add, thank you for keeping all of us open to our eyes open to what's happening in the environment, because a lot of people are asleep. A lot of federal workers right now are asleep. A lot of federal workers right now are completely confused as to what their status is. But because I know who I am, I have a support network, and I know whose I am, I'm not living in fear. I'm living in confidence. And my young adults and I are building a business, and we're impacting those families for generations upon generations. So thank you.
Welcome. Exit strategy. Project exit strategy is in full force, full effect. That's good stuff. And going back to edification, guys, it's one thing to, de-edify a person directly, but what you experienced was, de-edification based on no edification at all. You know what I'm saying? And so, like I said, because like I said, when you look at the trainings, when you can hear a person say something that's verbal, well, you can see a person not say something, is more impactful. You know what I'm saying? It's like, wow, I can't believe that they left Arlene off of this thing. And that's like the buzz in the office, like, what? Wow. Because like I said, that's important. So you got to make sure that people you teach people how to treat you 100% of the time. That's the same thing as about those hard conversations that people don't want to have. I was just sitting there last night at dinner with Brenda and James, and we were having a conversation about you having hard conversations with people and teaching people how to treat you. So and what ends up happening is a lot of people would say something that happened to them where they get de-edified in their office or in the company, and what they do is they leave, they quit. And if that was the best place for you, why would you leave? Why would you quit? It's because you made an emotional decision based on how somebody treated you. So no, you just collect yourself and you say, hey, what's the best way to fix this, to solve this problem, but let them know I'm no joke, right? And that's how you go back at it, because I've had situations when we was in Organo, the coffee company, that if I would let my emotions, get a hold of me, when we made that transition from YTB to Organo, something happened that was huge de-edification, disrespectful, and just nothing but thievery that happened. And it was with the person who sponsored me. So if I had not seen the vision, right, of the company and just felt like this is probably going to be one of the biggest things I ever had my hands on, I would have just said, forget it. I'm not going to join you, right? Now, they would have went on to make millions of dollars still. I wouldn't have made millions of dollars at all in that industry, in that company. And it probably would have took me a lot more time to get to my goals. So what I did was, I said, no, I'm just going to not deal with you directly. I'm gonna plug into the system, make it happen, but me and you're gonna have the conversation. And I need to have this conversation before I throw you off this rail, over this rail, three stories up in the blue room. And so I got it off my chest, and I moved in a certain way and taught that person how to treat me. Over here, it's the same thing. Company's brand new, presidential elect, all these topics about presidency and stuff like that. You got comments made by people in authority. I'm not, so you had some people who unfollowed the gentleman. You had some people who left the company, right? And I'm like, yeah, I'm not gonna walk away from, a potential multi-million-dollar situation for me and my people, but I am going to address it. And so you have to have that conversation. You have to teach people how to treat you. And so it's been, trust me, Kim, it's been time when Kim cringes on like earlier on, it don't happen anymore, on ownership calls and stuff like that, where, everybody is in the room saying, this is what I want to do. And everybody's like, yeah. And nobody's really thinking about it, or they're thinking about it saying, oh, that's not a real good idea. But they're saying, yeah, because they don't want to make no waves. And you can't be a successful company with everybody agreeing with all your bad ideas, or all your decent ideas that are not great ideas, right? Or all your ideas who you brought to the table that nobody else brought ideas to compare to, bring some capacity. And so, yeah, it's been times where I'm like, yeah, everybody on the thing looking at me like, whoa, like, yeah, okay, well, are we all on the same page? Okay, well, great. I just want y'all to understand that yeah, this means a lot to me. I got my people here. I'm here, and I'm giving. I didn't come to this company, to fail. I didn't come to this company to lose business. I didn't come to this company to lose people. I didn't come to this company to not make money, right? And so, yeah, we're gonna have this conversation. We're gonna address this situation, right? And so you gotta have those because if I don't address it, then what happens is this, you know, even about me, y'all feel the brunt of it. And everybody in the company feels the brunt of it, right? Not just my people, but the company's people as well. And it's not y'all's fault if I don't address it, it's my fault. So keep in mind that every one of them conversations, like you said, the one you had, Dr. Arlene, you had to have that for your people to make sure, that everybody, and for me, I probably would have asked her to go back and hey, I need you to redo that email and just and with a minor apology saying, hey, look, I left off Dr. Arlene. I apologize. That was inadvertent since it was inadvertent,
I left that to her discretion because I wanted to see what she would do as a leader.
There you go.
Because a true leader would do exactly that.
Hmm. Exactly. And then if it don't happen, you know exactly where you stand and where she stand, and you know if it was inadvertent or not. And so again, some people just, level one leaders, positional, right? And that's the thing, you got to know like who you're dealing with. And once you recognize who you're dealing with, you know how to move accordingly, you know. But that's that time block thing going all the way back up. That's one thing I'm gonna just tell y'all. I mean, if y'all not time blocking, you leave money on the table. I don't care how good you are. If you're good, you'd be that much better if you time blocked. If you actually set your calendar up and structured your days out and say I'm only going to do this at this hour at this time, and I'm not going to let anything. I don't care if it's somebody calling in, whatever. If I got this time blocked, and it's something, a phone call comes in from a prospect or something, if it's that important where you got to take it, then what you do is you reset that time block immediately, and for the whole entire time, not just for what's remaining, the whole entire time, reset it and do it all over again. Restart it, start the clock all over again. As things happen, but it don't mean that you should use that as a fail safe to self destruct, right? Because that's what most people, they go back into their own habits, or they use that as an excuse to self sabotage or a reason to self sabotage. So I appreciate that time block. That's real. That's for especially for a person who is a blue organized chaos, a person like me who like I need structure in my life, and that person like Laura, she wouldn't need it, you know, that's at all. You know what I mean? But a person like me, if I don't have it, I'm not productive. If I lose a whole day if I don't have time blocks and stuff like that, just I can go down rabbit holes 24 hours a day, 7 days a week with no problem, with ease, and I can do that with personal development alone. Like I have stuff like all my on my iPad, I have time blocks on everything on my iPad that's a distraction. Like if the little hourglass comes up, out of time. And so good. Good. And so let me get out of here and go over there. All right. And so I appreciate your contributions. Angel.
Hi, great morning, Mr. Bean. Great morning, everyone on Crash Camp. Well, Mr. Bean, you just brought up time block. So I'm gonna say, because you brought up Laura and she's a green, and so I'm a green, and we need the time blocks too. Just say to be honest. Everybody needs the time block. So I was running around like crazy as well before. And so because us greens, we have other things that distract us, like admin work that we think is IPAs, but they're admin. So we got our own chaos as well, just on the green side, right? We get carried away by a lot of green stuff, and so we do have to time block, especially for things like exposures and stuff. So I'll do, like, for my social media, I'll take an hour out to do my exposures, and I can get 30 exposures in that hour if I don't do anything else. So if somebody calls me, they can wait for an hour. Or if somebody does want something, they can wait for an hour. It's just 1 hour. If it's that emergency, most life stuff is not, even an hour, ambulance gets to you in an hour, right? So just saying, but majority of the time an hour is not going to do much for people. So I have to put times in place for exposures, or else I won't do it, right? Because greens like to do admin stuff. So Thanks, Dr. George, for bringing that up, because that is very important, so that you're not like driving like crazy, like the people that are just like crazy, crazy, crazy busy all day, but they're not getting anything done. You got to have time blocks. But my win for this week is the is that I love the role plays, right? Because I'm doing the role plays, I'm learning a lot as well. So it's been helping me, do my scripts, and and I love that you guys are bringing all this extra objections to the tables and stuff like that, so everybody can learn. Because once you master the objections in these role plays, I mean, it's a no-brainer, and you're just going to get better and better, to where my wins for this week is I got 2 people signed up this week, and one happens to be a gentleman that I met same day. We went to a networking event. That's why I said, don't sleep on the networking events, right? Find an event near you. So I went to this event, and you would think this is an event I go once a month. So it's not like an event, but I meet new people at every event, right? There's always a new person there. And it happens to be 2 gentlemen at this event that I spoke to. One is a credit analyst from Amegy Bank. We hit it off. I haven't done a one-on-one with him yet, but another one is Gage, and he's actually credit repair and loan broker. And he happened to be the last one that I spoke to. So, you know, I did what we're supposed to do: pique interest, invite him to the next event, right, in Houston. Edify Mr. Bean, when I sent him, oh, you have to come meet my VP. I'll personally introduce you to him, and edify Mr. Bean. So when you learn the role play and the edification, that's it. So he was like, yeah, I've heard a lot about the solar industry, but I've never been. And so we were talking about it, and I gave him a few points, right? And I said, well, you know what? Do you want to wait till February 1st? And he's like, no, ma'am. You know what I'll do? Let me go ahead and send you this video. The gentleman that I was sharing with you, you can actually watch him right now. And he was like, yes, I'll do it. And he said, I'll watch it on the way home. I said, okay, great. If you watch it on the way home, then I'll do you a favor. We'll get on a call after you watch it. And he was like, oh, that would be great, right? And because of role play, I knew he was a financial, right? So in role play, so the thing is, you learn from everybody in the role play. So I role play with Sabrina, guess what? Right? Financial analyst, insurance broker. I knew by role playing with her, what did I know? Insurance brokers love a little thing called no chargebacks. So when I spoke to him, I talked about residuals. Insurance love residuals, right? I knew that from role play with Sabrina. And so, okay, insurance, love residuals. He's like, yes, I love to leverage. Absolutely. Who doesn't, right? And, what do you think about $250,000 per month? Whoa, really? And get this, the magic word. And he was like, what is the magic? He leaned forward. He's like, what's the magic word? No chargebacks. He goes, sign me up. Where? What? Sign me up. No chargebacks, right? And so he was like, I gotta watch this. You see, even though I gave him the video, I was still piquing his interest. And he's like, I gotta watch this video. So he proved to me on the way home, I think it was an hour later, I was actually having a meeting with Eddie and Sabrina, and he called me back. He's like, I watched the video. I was like, you did? He's like, yeah, I told you I would watch it on the way back, and I did. Okay, great. Well, what did you like the most about what you saw? And um, he said, everything you said is basically on there. And I was like, yeah. I was like, okay, great. He's like, I love it all. I was like, okay, well, great. So, and this is where most people will stop. But I was like, so you love it and you want to do it? He's like, yes, I'm definitely interested in do it. And I said, well, when do you want to get started? And he was like, right now, if you can. Absolutely, we can. I'm in the middle of a meeting, right, with Sabrina and Eddie. And he said, but you know what? If you're busy right now and you're not ready, we can schedule. No, 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 no. You ready? He's like, yes, I'm absolutely ready. If you're ready, I'm ready. Let's go. 2 minutes. Signed him up, sent him the 6 steps for Mr. Bean, and we did a 3-way with Mr. Bean yesterday. And he's floored with talking to Mr. Bean.
Yeah, it's just like I said, those things when he talked about the conversation, the three-way conversation with him, it was a pretty cool conversation. One, I have a background in real estate and I've dealt with a lot of people and I also work with some credit repair companies directly and indirectly. So I was able to talk to him in his language, but I was also able to, give him some insight on his industries and how to make way more money in the industries that he participates in without even joining our company. And then I used our company as a leverage to go out there and open more doors for him. Because I told him, I said, a lot of people who are in your industry, they'll only be in your industry. I said, which means that they're transactional people. You have people who are in your industry, who are going to be moguls because they're open to opportunities, open to expansion, and they're open to other ideas on adding things that complement, what they do to the table without adding the responsibility. I said, so when you look at me, one of my goals as a real estate person back in the day was to have a full-fledged real estate, what do you call it? A fully functional real estate conglomerate where you had everything from realtors, appraisers, everything, all basically one-stop shopping. And that was my idea. I said, so yeah, he was just blown away by the idea. I said, but right now, I said, it came back full circle because, everything I got is still in the home improvement, arena, the home essentials arena, the home solutions arena. And I still work with everybody, from the appraisers, from the roofers, from the landscapers, I got access to 100% of their databases, something he wasn't thinking about. I said, remember, we talked about influencers. I said, so we look at influencers, they have millions of followers and people buy what they sell, right? I said, but you got to think about it. A real estate agent is an influencer, right? They have influence over their people who they do business with, they've done business with in the past. A mortgage broker, a credit repair person, they all a person who's done roofing. All of them have thousands of customers that they have influence over. So now I have influencers that I get a chance to get 1,000 different new people into my database over here, 4,000 over here, 5,000 over here, 10,000 over here, and they're all coming on based on collaborative efforts. I said, so at the end of the day, that's what big business looks like. And nobody's ever had a conversation, like he said, he had a mentor that he pulled off of the internet that got him to this point, which is great. I said, but I know his mentor, not me. And I know his mentor is never going to tell him anything what I'm about to tell him. So there's about to be, a conflict, and some friction, with his belief system. And that's my job to make sure that happens in a big way. So you only get, we got this 30 minutes, and I don't know if it was 30 minutes to an hour we was on the phone, but when you got people like that who are ready and people who are ready to rock and roll, hey, you give them the big picture and see if they run with it. And so he got the big picture. So, that's huge. So this is what we want to do. And appreciate you, Angel, for again just the role playing the guys. And then thank you, Sabrina, for going back in and putting those hard questions in as well. Because when you talk about the, having role play and you got objections, that's important. The agreement drill, that's important. But the hard questions, that's one of those things that you really and truly got to master because the hard questions increase closing ratios. Right? And so hard questions aren't rude questions. They're hard questions that make a person come to grips that, hey, okay, these people are not going to let me off the line. And they just ask me a common sense question that I have to give them an answer to. And if I'm really legit going by this system, I need to answer this question. I'm gonna let them know right now. And you put people in a buying position. You give them the power, but you don't let them. You don't let them off the easy. I'll let them off the hook easy. It's the difference between being nice, when it comes to doing business, and passive and not being profitable and being nice, right? Being on purpose and asking the right questions and getting all of the business. Remember, we talk about you'll end up in life in direct proportion to the quality of the questions that you ask people and the quality of the questions that you ask yourself. One of the questions you ask yourself is, why am I not asking the hard questions? Am I scared of success? You know, am I scared of rejection? Right? Am I scared that I didn't do enough, you know, on the front end to ask a hard question on the back end? You know, because there's a reason why you don't ask hard questions. And the majority of people in the company who are closers, they don't ask the hard questions. That's one thing I noticed, one thing I've seen. And, you know, especially when I was listening to Danny Pessy a couple of weeks ago, that is one of the things that I really and truly believe that if they turn that up a notch, you know, we got a lot of good people in the company who are mentors and have the right heart, right? They just don't have, they just won't finish the deal. You can do a great, you know, a great presentation and not ask for the money and not ask for the deal and not ask for the close. And so now all you've done is wasted your time because the be back bus doesn't come back for most people. You have people who put you in a holding pattern or a waiting pattern or I'll get back to you pattern. And now the job is accomplished for them. And that night they don't have to make the hard decision no more. And you're in perpetual follow-up, infinite follow-up. You're in forever follow-up. Right. And so, you know, when you ask the hard question, like with Grant Cardone, that's why I tell people when I look at Danny, me and Danny had this conversation, a private conversation Tuesday and no Wednesday, take that back, Wednesday. And when we talked, I said, bro, the reason why we have this conversation is because, you know, I partnered with Grant Cardone for over 4 years, and I hear a lot of you in him, and so and vice versa. And he said, yeah, it's because I studied Grant Cardone. He said that was one of my mentors. That's one of his training program. I went through his training program, and that's where I honed my skills. That's when I got better, sharper. That's when I got more on purpose. He said I used to leave deals on the table all the time. He said I was literally all the time, and so he said that was when I got with Grant and I started listening to his closes and I started role playing and stuff like that. He said that's when everything changed for me. I said, but we give people here, you know, Grant Cardone based on the fact that they got in at $99, but they got the $99 a month plan, right? And they don't listen to it, but they want Danny, right? But Danny learned from Grant. Yeah, you got to pay for Danny. You got to pay for Grant. But at the end of the day, now you got both because talking to Danny, for those of you, just for the record, I'm glad, and I'll put a bow on it with this because I got to get ready for this event out here. Y'all know the slicks that everybody's been raving about, and the cards, the flash cards that everybody's been raving about. You know, he had them on special for $97 each, $99 each at the event, $200. Well, talking to him, he's willing to do this for me, and that's if I get 10 people who want to do a live training with him, $200 each. They'll get both the slicks and the flash cards for $50 each, and the $100 just be for him and his time. And so that would be a real big deal. So, you know, I'm going to open this up, you know, to him, to our group, one, but I'm going to open it up to the company because one, the slicks by themselves are worth $200. The slicks, just the slick training, you know, would help people who don't even go door knock, who sold solar. If he taught you what to do with the slicks, you just listening to the slick training will help you out with that. The other thing is just the flashcards, huge, big time conversationalist and question and answering, objection answering, and hard question type situations. You know, it puts you in a position where when you have a person who's interested in solar, right, and they're coming to the table to do solar, but they don't have any experience in solar. You have more conversation points, more experience, you know, with those individuals, so you can still talk and sell solar to them as a career option or a business option based on what you learn from those slicks and what you learn from those cards. And so, if you notice, I immersed myself in this thing by listening to everything JC had out there and all this other stuff when it came to, you know, the solar industry because he was my resource at the time. And anything and everything I could pick up solar was on my radar. from a conversation point, I picked up basically, so I can have a conversation with people and sell people on the idea, right? And so if a person who doesn't know me, they don't know that I'm not a mentor in the company. They don't know that I haven't did a whole lot of deals and stuff like that. They wouldn't know that listening to my presentation. They wouldn't know that listening to my conversation, right? And so those cards and those flashcards and those slicks and that training that we're going to get him to do is going to be a real big deal. And I'm just telling you right now, lean heavily on promoting that. Lean heavily on getting people to go back to watch Danny and the VT system. They go back through that 30-day process. Don't just do stuff one time. There's a lot of y'all who you've done it to say you can do it. Great, got my certification. Great, got the checkpoint. Great, but if you really want to be successful, you'll go over it over and over and over again. You'll drill it in over and over and over and over again, right? Because if you can't teach it, you didn't learn it, right? And so go back, teach you, get your people. That's a part of the 6 steps. Like when you get a person in, I'm gonna just tell you, I would have them listen to that before I had them listen to the 5 steps of success. Stuff like that. I mean, it's just certain things I value more than others. Because some of the information has flawed information in it. I was just talking to James last night. And he was talking about taking a person from, being a prospect for solar to being an affiliate, and I'm like, no. I said, so that lets me know you're not plugging into my call because 1, we don't even talk about affiliates. 2, they shouldn't go to an affiliate situation until after they've seen a presentation. And I'm not talking about a solar presentation. They go from a solar presentation to a business presentation if they're not going to do solar. Then they go from a solar presentation to an affiliate if they don't get started. So when you go to the 5 steps of success, it talks about everybody should have 50 affiliates right away. And so basically you got one hell of a nonprofit organization when you do that. Right. And so, you're a 501c3 at that point in time. You basically put yourself in a position where, you looking for government assistance and hips and handouts. You about to go out of business. Right. And so, again, that's why, there's flawed information. There's information that don't, it don't make any sense, when it comes to building a business, an empire, something that's subscription based. Why would you pump something that has no subscription attached to it? So and I just told him, I said, look, bro, you got to think about it for a second. We're getting ready to go from 199 to 1,000, and you sitting over talking about 0. At what point in time does that make any sense? He said, it don't. I said, okay, that's why you're paying for this steak tonight. So I said, this is you're gonna get your money's worth tonight, right? And so but yeah, right now we got to be more on purpose, more intentional with people when they get started. Like I'm to the point to where right now I don't even care if they make $1 when they get started. I need you to get in here and learn some stuff, get yourself rooted into some things, and get a foundation of trust for the information, a foundation of trust for the system, a foundation of trust for leadership, and then get a really solid foundation when it comes to role playing and stuff like that, and start making phone calls and getting your 4, and start making your phone calls and getting your 3. When it comes to your deals, you bringing your deals to the table. But I think from mentors down to everybody in the company, they just brought a bunch of mentors on. There's a whole bunch of unqualified people in the mentor status, in my personal opinion, because the amount of mentors, the amount of deals that go into the hands of mentors versus the amount of closings, that we have as a company is truly disproportionate to what you see with elite companies. And that's because we don't have elite training system, we don't have elite leadership, we don't have people who are setting the standard, the gold standard of closing deals the right way on a high level, and then going back and teaching it and preaching it. So at that point in time, that's what we need right now, more than anything, because if solar is the foundation for where we're at right now, that's what we're getting people to the table on, we should act like it. I'm not a solar guy, but I'm a businessman that has learned a whole lot about solar and needs to learn a whole lot more. These conversations got to be had. So, other than that, guys, let's make sure that we are definitely on purpose with that, but go ahead and make sure we are continuing to promote the events that we have in these markets, making sure we got people coming out to these events. And those events, we really need to launch the company. We really need to launch markets first and launch our individual groups, but launching these markets are going to be real key and going to play a huge role on how big we become or how small we stay. Okay? And so we have to think bigger, faster. We have to do more faster. And the more we do and the faster we do it, the better we become. This is one of those things where you get a chance to be in the driver's seat because nobody else is moving the needle. This is where you get a chance to take ownership of the company and put yourself in an enviable position and with high visibility and high appreciation. This is where you get the company to now do stuff for you as opposed to you doing the stuff for the company. This is a moment that if you capture this moment, okay, this could be a defining moment in your careers to where, again, this would be your organo moment like it was for me, but here. And that's one thing I love about this company is that it doesn't matter what, age demographic you are, what gender, what nationality, what don't matter at all. Anybody can come in here and win if they took ownership of it and really went out here and did what was done, what needed to be done as opposed to what was comfortable. We need to all jump and live in our uncomfort zone right now. So with that being said, those, y'all, you got to fly in February 3rd through the 5th next week. So they'll be contacting you guys for the flight information and the room information for those of you who are coming. And let's see here. I'll show y'all this craziness, this madness over here. Hold on 1 second here. There we go. What just happened? Oh, there we go. Y'all can't, I don't know if y'all can't, yeah, it's blurry. Hold on 1 second here. There we go. Y'all see this madness? All these shenanigans, ain't nobody, we got one person driving out there. This is crazy. This is why y'all have snow days, huh? Arlene?
Absolutely, without question. That's why there's snow days.
Jeez.
Gotta have that backup day.
Man, I tell you, well, these are the things that you go through when people say, man, I'd do anything to be in your position. No, you wouldn't. No, you wouldn't. It's like Ali. You didn't appreciate him until you saw him in the ring holding up the belt. You didn't see the road work and all the other stuff they go through on the way. This is stuff you go through on the way, when you're growing towards 7 figures. You know what I'm saying? So get ready, embrace it. Let's make it happen. Love you guys, and let's go out here and make a difference. All right? Let's make it happen. Let's go find some people to help. That's what we do.
Hey, thank you, Mr. Bean.
Yeah,
Thank you,
thanks for all
sir.
you do, Mr. Bean.
Mr. Big.
Thank you, sir. Thank you, sir. Thank you very much.
Thank
All
you,
you
Mr.
know,